We live. Trying some new Facebook family. Going live. All the way live. Brother Ron from the road. We all be. Hey everybody. Just trying to fix this. I'll be right back. I'm trying to start on time. Hey everybody, it's Brother Ron. I'm trying to do something different. Doing live from my phone. I'm in always moving around at a hotel on my way to Maryland to check out the opening reception for Dick Gregory, Baba Dick Gregory. He is actually having a Dick Gregory week in Maryland at the I think it's the Oxford Manor Hill in Prince George's County, Maryland. And I've been driving for hours. I drove from Atlanta. I drove to Atlanta on Thursday. Got there in the wee hours of the morning, making my way to the East Coast. I've been visiting family. I got family all throughout the land, throughout the Southland. So I've been visiting relatives in Atlanta, visited some relatives in Charleston earlier Saturday. And now I find myself in North Carolina, Fayetteville. Just got off the road, taking a break, and then I'm going to head back in several hours back on the road to pay homage to Baba Dick Gregory at his special exhibit. You know, just come out the week that the Obamas had their portrait unveiling. Excuse me, I can't talk. When they had their portraits unveiled last week at the U.S. National Portrait Gallery. So I'm gonna check that out in person. It may look different in person than it does on online, on TV, the portraits, and I'll give my commentary on that as well. But I just wanted to come to y'all quickly because everybody and their mama been checking out the Black Panther. I saw the Black Panther movie on Friday. It was crowded. I was at the Regal 10 Cinema, the Regal 10 Stadium Cinema in Sandy Springs, Georgia, which is a suburb of Atlanta. And I didn't really have any expectations when I saw Black Panther. I just came in with an open mind, open heart, open spirit. And I was pleasantly surprised. I was not disappointed. And I would suggest that everybody out there, if you haven't seen the movie, go out there and see the movie for yourself. There's a lot to digest and dissect and discuss. So I'm not going to do it all tonight. You know, I might have a call-in show where people could talk about the Black Panther. I'll be reading people's responses as well. But it's worth checking out. Black Panther is a unique movie in terms of superhero movies. I think the brother Coach did a exceptional job with the script, and Ryan Coogler, great director. I really appreciated the strong, predominantly black, ensemble cast. You had award winners like Forrest Whitaker, Angela Bassett. You have proven young guns like Michael B. Jordan and Chadwick Boseman. They did their thing, and I'm just gonna talk about some things I thought about the movie. I'm not gonna give out spoilers, nothing like that. Just some things that I thought would be interesting, rather, to talk about this evening. And let me see. First and foremost, I like the fact that it was family friendly. It has a PG-13 rating, and like people came out. I know people had Black Panther themed parties, special screenings, fundraisers, and whatnot. And even on Friday, people was wearing their special African garb and stuff like that, and they were saluting. And even when I came out the movie theater, I saw the 5 o'clock showing. It was a long line. And, you know, most of the people in that line was for the Black Panther movie. And even when I was in the movie theater, it was packed. You know, save for the front rows where it's really close to the screen. But what I love about it was the energy and the positive atmosphere that I felt there. I was sitting next to a young brother in his early 20s with his young daughter, maybe no more than 5 or 6 years old. And it was incredible to see that father-daughter bond as they watched this superhero movie that dealt with communalism. And I was very overwhelmed with the positive portrayals of black women or black women in the film. And also I was impressed with the healthy black man, black woman dynamic and relationships that were showcased. You know, it's good to see black people and black love on the big screen at large. You know, I like the fact that it talks about communalism, you know, respect of the elders, communalism, people having access. Like, you look at things like it paid homage to the Black Panther Party, of course. The opening is set in Oakland around 1992. And we all know that the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense was founded in Oakland, California by Huey P. Newton and Bobby Seale, Bobby Hutton, some other cats, and even a Japanese American was some of the founders of the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense. But there are a tale of two Black Panther parties, like there's a tale of two Black Lives Matter. Because you had the Black Panther Party that was actually started before the Black Panther Party in California, who was started in Lowndes County, Alabama, with Stokely Carmichael and company taking on the White Roosters. Y'all should look at that as well. Y'all should look up that other Black Panther Party that predated the Black Panther Party that we think of when it comes to the leather jackets and the berets and the wicker chairs. So you had the Black Panther Party. The Black Panther Party was actually started in Lowndes County, Alabama. That took on the white power structure there that needs to be talked about. It's not talked about enough. And you know, Stokely Carmichael, who became Kwame Ture, he became the prime minister for the West Coast Panthers, of course. And that's a different story. But I like the fact it paid homage to the Black Panthers, the real Black Panthers. What's interesting is, like, you got a situation with the X-Men. Like, you know, a lot of people don't understand that the X-Men were based on the African-American civil rights movement and freedom struggle. Professor X, or Xavier, representing Dr. King, nonviolence, integration. Magneto was Malcolm X, easily, separation. Mutants comes first. Our priority should be first. I thought it was interesting the way they approached it. Because I look at the guy who was the Panther. He was more like a Dr. King type to a certain degree. But, you know, it's interesting. Killmonger, the character Killmonger, which I thought was beautifully played by Michael B. Jordan. Michael B. Jordan is just a great actor. Definitely loved him in the Fruitvale Station thing he did as Oscar Grant. Even the Rocky Apollo Creed thing. To me, Michael B. Jordan and his relationship with Ryan Coogler remind me of a young and blacker version of Martin Scorsese and Robert De Niro. I think they got a bright future ahead of them making some more classic movies. And I think Killmonger is very fascinating because he's definitely from that Malcolm by Any Means Necessary book of revolutionary thought. And really, I didn't look at Killmonger as being a evil person. I looked at he was a product of his environment, but also he was a person that was willing to do the extreme things in order to bring justice to the people. Even if the process looked bad on the outside, his overall intentions were good, and he was committed to what I call revolutionary suicide. He was willing to put his own life on the line for something that was bigger for the people. And my thing about it is, our people are afraid. We're very spiritual people, but we are afraid to take charge of a situation. We are afraid to sometimes do the thing that is necessary to bring about change, especially if it comes in violent, violent means. And the thing about it is that in this system, black pain is white folks' entertainment and profit. Black pain is white folks' entertainment and profit. Killmonger understood or overstood the psyche of the colonizer. He was the spook who sat by the door. He learned all their tricks of the trade, everything. But his goal was always to liberate his people by any means necessary. Revolutions are bloody. They're a bloody and messy business, right? So, it's different when you talk a good game. You can talk the rhetoric all you want to, but to actually do the things that is necessary to bring about change. Violence is necessary in nature. Things are born, things are dying, things are in a constant state of change. I look at the thing about the isolationism. Like, imagine if we have a Wakanda with all these resources, yet the majority of the world is people of color who are suffering under white colonism, and yet they don't do anything to help their own fellow people. They look out for themselves. Very selfish? Yes, I would say so. Because you look at the Killmonger character, he's like a cross between Che Guevara and Malcolm X. I say Che Guevara because Che Guevara is interesting because he comes from a upper middle class background, right? He was a medical doctor, and Michael B. Jordan is royal blood. His character Killmonger is royal blood, but he's looked at as an outsider, a reject, a bastard. He's really a bastard of the revolution. Killmonger is the necessary boogeyman that black folks need for revolution and liberation. He is that necessary boogeyman. Just like Malcolm X was a necessary boogeyman for those people who say, you know what, if you can't deal with us, you're going to have to deal with the Malcolm X's of the world. You don't want that. Because all we trying to do is sit at your table, master. Just trying to sit at your table, sit in your house, or live next to your master. We don't want any equity. We don't want no justice. It's just us. We just want to be in the master's presence. Well, Killmonger was talking about justice. And so you build a system that was created through violence. You got to destroy the system through violence. There's no other way about it. You got to speak the language of the oppressor so they can understand where you're coming from. And Killmonger understood that. So I just thought that was fascinating that they bring up the old, Dr. King way of thinking versus Malcolm X way of thinking. I also like the fact that it shows black women and being both strong and beautiful. There's a balance. And really, it speaks to communalism. Not communism, not socialism, but communalism. Because Hillary Clinton had that book said it takes a village to raise a family. She got that from an African proverb. Our people are very spiritual people. You can't spell community without unity. So, I'm not going to go away too much. I just came off the road. I'm sorry. I've been driving for hours, hundreds of miles, trying to get to this Dick Gregory thing. But I would have loved to get Dick's opinion about the movie Black Panther. I think he would offer a very interesting critique or take on the whole thing. And like I said, this is just, I'm going to talk about this again. And hopefully, I can have a dialogue with the people out there about this. Because I think it's very important. I just want people to see it by any means necessary. I know people saying that it's okay to bootleg the movie. I don't advocate for that per se. I know for myself, I've been disappointed sometimes You could be the most influential and not be the most popular. It's quite possible to be the most influential person in what you do among your peers and for the culture, but not be most popular or supported. And I know myself, in my pursuit of truth and knowledge and happiness and wisdom, I run across that in my own way. I mean, I have people who have taken my intellectual property without my consent and use it for their own gain and not give me proper recognition for it or support. And you think sometimes, a recent incident, brother, I'm not gonna get into too much details about it, but I told him, brother, look, I respect you as an advocate of free speech, but don't take my stuff without my consent. Please don't take my stuff without my consent, because that's my intellectual property. I work hard to manifest these things. I don't mind sharing with the people, but I will hope the people will support me in what I do if they have benefited from what is being done. So this cat just takes my stuff and claims it as his own, and he makes money off of it, but he don't give money back to the person that actually manifests the product for him to utilize. And I think that's wrong. I mean, it's unethical. I think we as a people need to come up with not only having a personal moral code, but we should have a moral code when we deal with each other. You know what I'm saying? If we're in the same industry, you shouldn't try to stab me in my back or undermine me. You should try to support me and work with me so we can grow together, so we can have this together. I mean, I'm all about there's enough for everybody to have in this society, really, if you understand the universal law of abundance. It's not about, capitalism. Capitalism has left the world in dire straits, and capitalism is on its way out. People talk about, excuse me, I'm trying something new. I'm doing my phone. Y'all give me some feedback. I can't see the people's input, but I want to thank everybody who's listening to me right now and who's going to listen to this. But capitalism has failed black people. It does not work for black people. We're too generous of a people. The wealthiest man who ever lived was not Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, or Warren Buffett. It was Mansa Musa from West Africa. He was the most wealthiest person who ever lived and probably the most generous. And that what really got him killed. He shared the wealth too much. And he was a threat because the way he was sharing wealth, it disrupted people's economies. He was too generous. And once they found out, okay, where he's from, where he's getting this, they took it from him. It's like with Wakanda. I can understand why they was isolationists because, once people figure out who you are, they want to take, instead of support you and help you grow and share, they want to take everything from you. And that's the mindset of the folks who run this capitalistic system. They don't want to share. They want to just take. So you look at what's going on right now. I'm not getting off subject. I know it seems like I'm getting off subject, but if you look at what's going on right now in the world, people saying they're fighting for 15. That's a losing battle. I want people to win, but you got to understand there's no need to fight for 15 when they owe you 30. Once again, there's no need to fight for $15 an hour when they owe you $30 an hour. But if you don't know your worth or know history, you will always end up in this, got to go in circles. See, that's what's going on with us right now. We're going in circles because you out in the streets marching and singing. Like I said, that's your right to do that. But understand, that's a losing battle because let's say you get to the 15. They finally say, we're going to give you 15. Y'all earned the 15 when you already supposed to got $30. By the time you get used to that, they're already phasing your job out with the robots. Here come the robots, the automation. You got places out, and I had a cousin, she went to a restaurant in L.A. Ran mostly by robots. You hear about one or two people working behind the counter, but their job's going to be phased out soon enough. They're automating the economy. That means that as more and more of us are becoming useless eaters. They're phasing out humanity. They're trying to shrink the population. They're depopulating the planet, and they're phasing us out. We don't have nowhere to go. So really, the case should be made. Forget all that fight for 15 and all this stuff. Just give us a living wage. This is what Dr. King was talking about with the Poor People Campaign 50 years ago. Share the wealth, redistribute the wealth, give people a living wage, give people a certain quality of life. You have the resources. Why not give folks a certain quality of life so they can enjoy it? Because life should not always be just about work. You should be able to play. You should be able to spend time with your family, even by yourself, to reflect, to get a better understanding of who you are, because we're not here that long. I don't care if you only live to be 15 months or 115 years old. That is still not enough time to really get the hang of this so-called life thing and to enjoy the fruits of life. You know, Dick used to say that having a job is a violation. And really, it's going to become obsolete because they're phasing out the jobs that we took for granted. I remember being in a restaurant last week and thinking about that. These young people working at these jobs, at these fast food places, in a few years, those jobs going to be phased out. And then you got people with advanced degrees that working at fast food restaurants because they're overqualified. It's not that you overqualified. It's there's no place for you to go. When you allow other people to define your existence, to define your worth, to define your value, you find yourself in a conundrum. There's no place for you to go if you don't even know who you are and what you value about yourself. If you don't know what your own worth is on your own terms, there is no place for you to really go in this world but down and down and down. And they are marginalizing people. And as black people, it's like, how can you justify telling people it's okay to come to America when you getting rid of all the jobs, send them overseas, or you making them obsolete through automation? Why are you telling people that it's okay for them to come illegally and legally when you got no means of support for them, let alone the native-born people here? And I'm talking about native-born, I'm talking about black Americans, descendants of slaves. We are at the permanent, like when you talk about the pot, and you turn on the heat on the stove and that pot, we are the scorched part of the pot. We're the permanent underclass. We're the scorched earth. We're at the bottom. When every time there's heat, we feel it first. Ain't nobody that can share with our pain. Nobody shares that with us. That's who we are. We collateral damage. We the first to go. They experiment on us. You remember Tuskegee? You remember J. Marion Sims, the so-called father of gynecology? Who did they use as lab rats or guinea pigs? Our ancestors, our people. So you look at even the Black Panther movie. Black folks are excited about the Black Panther movie. We dressed up for it. People renting out theaters, entire movie theaters to show it, fundraisers. But the thing about it is, the Black Panther comes from white folks' fantasy. The Black Panther comes from white folks' fantasy. See, black pain and black history is fetish for white people. It's a fetish. It's delicious. It's like when I read about Josephine Baker, when she used to live in Paris. Josephine Baker was a phenomenal big-time star. She was a national treasure in France, but she was born over here in the States, in Missouri. And she said that as she was walking her pet cheetah down the street in Paris, and white folks was just oogling and ogling over her. Ooh, that's Josephine. Ooh, look at that. Ooh, wee. She said white folks sure got a funny imagination, because what they thinking is who is more animal and who is really walking who down the street. Is it Josephine or is it a cheetah? So, it's interesting that white folks love black folks in a exotic fantasy abstract. But when you deal with our reality, it's totally something different. It's like with black people, we're good at self-medicating on fantasy. But to deal with our harsh reality is just too much for a lot of us. We just got to check out. And it's interesting that they are making so many superhero movies. Like they're making so many superhero movies have came out, and so many more are coming out. So it goes back to what Julius Caesar said, if you give them bread and circuses. If you give them bread and circuses, they won't complain. They won't bother with the most important issues of the day, and Rome will continue to burn. So it's like about bread and circuses, and that will bring me to what I want to talk about too. I talked about GREgory a little bit, talk about the Black Panther. I'm gonna go back to talk about the Black Panther, but I also want to talk about Judge Joe Brown and why he is very necessary right now. And y'all remember that nobody was interviewing Judge Joe Brown like we all be interviewed Judge Joe Brown. So when y'all start seeing Judge pop up on everybody's show and stuff like that, remember who started that. Just like with GREgory, Baba GREgory, people was not checking for Baba GREgory like that until one day I had the chance to talk to him about Django Unchained back in January of 2013. And it went viral. And everybody, you know, all of a sudden, Baba just had a renaissance again. And if you don't believe me, you don't have to believe me, but the paper trail is out there. Now, I remember, I didn't think nothing of the interview when I did it. I didn't think nothing of it when we did the review. And then as soon as I put it out there, the next day, Baba called me telling me that Quentin Tarantino and, you know, Jamie Foxx, all these people from Django called him to thank him for standing up for the movie. And this was January 2013, right before the presidential inauguration. And people was calling me from around the world. And they're like, we want to interview you and Baba, but they want to GREgory. And I understand that because it's not about me. I'm just a person who believes in building platforms for people to express themselves. And that's why it's so important for people to support We All Be TV and this platform. Because like I said, we got to start telling our own stories. That includes me. I got to do a better job of letting people know the work that I have put in for 11 plus years to not only build this platform, but to serve my people. We're not just doing things online with podcasting and stuff like that. We're actually doing community work, building with the people in our communities around the country. And you know, I run a nonprofit, the We All Be Group Incorporated, and we have been putting in work, but I do a better job to let people understand what we are actually doing. And so with Baba GREgory, that interview took off. He called me the next day. He said, "Brother Ron, whatever time you need me to be on the show, I'm available to you." And like I remember he told me in Kansas City back in 2016 of August, he said he was more popular now than he was even in his prime because of the internet, because he could reach more people now than he ever could. You know, because Dick, I mean, you look at it now, he's everywhere. He's omnipresent. It's hard for me to really miss Baba GREgory because I can hear him every day. I see him everywhere. And the stuff he said and who he is still relevant today. This is why I drive hours and hours around the country, or I would drive from the South all the way up to Maryland on my own in my jalopy of a car. You know, I got this Saturn Iron. It's got over 215,000 miles on it. I had it for 11 years, and it keeps on going. I call it Frank in honor of Frank Sinatra because we did it our way. But I was sometimes, you know, like Dick said, he said he'll look up and he'll see Brother Ron here. I'll come somewhere, whether it be Baltimore, Memphis, Atlanta, New York, you know, I'm there to serve a bigger purpose. I know it's bigger than me. And I was thankful that I was chosen by the universe, one of Baba's chosen to help amplify his message to the masses. So he's here with us for posterity. But I'm a humble soldier in the cause. And it's like, I just want y'all to understand is that you have a purpose too. And you got to believe in yourself and find out what that purpose is. Don't be afraid to take a risk. By you being alive, you know, you're taking a risk. By you going outside your house, there's no guarantee you'll come back home later on that day. But the risk I want y'all to take is the risk in believing yourself. Sometimes I get letters, phone calls, and voice messages. People send me stuff about, you know, they lost their license. And it's like what Baba GREgory used to say. He's not qualified to heal you. He's not a doctor. I'm not qualified to tell you how to live your life. But one good thing that Baba GREgory said that I think that people need to understand is the power of prayer, of meditating on the things you want to manifest. And he told people, and he continued to tell people through these interviews, through these amplifications, through these vibrations, Pray for what you want every day at noon. Pray for what you want every day at noon. You don't have to be a Christian. You don't have to be any religious affiliation. Just focus on what you want, whether it be the truth to come out, whether you want a better position in life. Focus on what you want and see what happens. Most of the people that live today are not focused on anything. Most people are distracted. They are all over the place. And there's a few of us that are focused. And a lot of times when you are focused on what you want, people will criticize you. People will call you a tyrant, that you're selfish, you don't play team ball, but you're already focused. You got your eyes on the prize. A lot of us don't got that type of vision. A lot of us don't got that type of vision. And like what I'm thinking a lot of times is that it's been hardwired in black people in particular to want to be a part of something that's bigger than ourselves. We've been so dispossessed and disenfranchised by this system that we're always looking for something to be a part of, some type of spiritual, emotional connection to something greater than ourselves, a movement. And we are the spiritual people of the universe. We're the universe soul people. And like you look at a movie like Black Panther, it can't help but be a success when black folks come together. It's like with Obama. They give all these credit. There's the Hispanic vote and it was the white woman vote. It was him getting almost 100% of the black vote every time he ran for president that may help him become president. Y'all underestimate the power of you to produce so much more. They want to call you a minority when you are the majority of the world's population. See, when we think in a connective sense, when we start thinking in communalism sense, we are unstoppable. When we start understanding that their brother and sister, like this is the problem with people saying, well, black Americans are not Africans. And, there was no slavery. There was something that happened. There was something that happened. And every time we divide and conquer ourselves, we lose. Solidarity is important. That don't mean that all of us got to be on the same page or in the same game, like Miss Chalet. It just means that you got to find the people that you could work with and build with and start your tribes. Start creating these cells, these unity cells. And you connect with another unity cell, a solidarity cell. And it goes on and on. We got the technology to do that. And power just don't come from weapons or, all that stuff. Power just don't come from killing people or being negative. Power comes when you recognize that you have something inside of you that makes you great. And that when you recognize that in the people around you, because the people around you are your mirrors. They are a reflection of who you are in some aspects of your personality. So we don't like what you see in people close to you. That's really something that's speaking to what is inside of you that you need to look at and rectify and get right with. That's why it's so important right now to build a relationship with yourself and understand who you are and take the time to be alone and really form that solid foundation with yourself, with me, myself, and I. So you will always know what you want, because I want y'all to do this and y'all can share your responses or not. Ask a person what they want. Just ask somebody, what do you want? And look at the responses you may get. It's fascinating to ask somebody what they want, because a lot of us don't know what we want. We never take time to think about ourselves. That's selfish. But when you take time to think about yourself and what you want, it's not always being selfish. It's called self-preservation. You got to take care of yourself. If you can't take care of yourself, you can't take care of nobody else. And we all we got. We all need each other, but you got to take care of your home. Get your house right. I mean, your temple, your mind, your body. Get that right with you so you can do this work out here. Because when you got God inside you, like they said, God is not the author of confusion. Don't be confused about who you are, where you come from, or what you can do. Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself more than anything else. Because when you can do that, then you can really have real faith. And so with this Black Panther movie, it was a departure from a lot of superhero movies, because it dealt with the black family, the man, woman, and child. It dealt with us, the family. But it also, like I said, I'm not going to reveal any spoilers in the movie, but that Killmonger situation needs to be revisited. I think people need to check that out and revisit that. It's very fascinating. And Judge Joe Brown, y'all should listen to Judge. I ain't say y'all should agree with everything he put out there, but y'all should listen to Judge Joe Brown because he's been there, done that. I mean, he's a true elder. You might not agree with all his points of views, but he's brilliant. And I help people sometimes, they'll text or call me saying, well, why you don't correct them? Why you help them on? I say, it's not about me correcting nobody. That's foolish. It's foolish to think that I'm the one that's responsible for telling folks how to act and think and feel. That's not my job. My job is to create a atmosphere and a platform to encourage folks to speak their truth, to be themselves, to speak their true mind, and not worry about consequences or repercussions and stuff like that on my platform on We All Be, because it's about us. I have people tell me I'm doing it on my phone. So I have people that tell me that We All Be, that's a stupid name. And it's not stupid because it's about us. Because it's an acronym for World Enriching, Activating, Liberating, Love, Beautification Experience. So this is us. We are beautiful. A lot of us don't know that. We have gifts to offer, but we don't know that we are present. We're not living in the present. We're not living in the moment because we don't understand our past. Because the past is never past. So I would like for black folks to really look at the Black Panther movie. And also the last interview we did with Judge Joe Brown, check that out. He talked about how black exploitation or black people movies and black consumers are used to help save Hollywood. Because it was the black exploitation films that saved Hollywood in the 70s. And like I said, they want to rewrite the narrative on the superhero movies. But I'm glad that brothers like Wesley Snipes are speaking out. Because it was the Blade series that really saved Marvel, the Marvel Universe. And we got to start letting people know that and start encouraging people to understand that. You had Spawn, you had, Blade, you had Meteor Man, I think you had Blank Man, whatever. You already had black superheroes out here. Even the superheroes that people love from the Marvel Universe are based on black people's struggles and black people's history. Even Superman. I mean, you think about all this stuff. We take ourselves for granted because black history is stranger and better than science fiction and Hollywood movies. If you look at the truth of black history, it's hard to believe that our people did the things we did. And you don't always have to go back to Egypt to understand the greatness of black people. But what we need to start doing in this day and age of technology is to start controlling our narratives. Like what I'm doing here, I'm just talking to you all on my smartphone, live streaming. And I'm telling you my thoughts about this Black Panther movie for posterity and about other things that's on my mind. We all can do that. We all can do that. Your story is just as important as his story or her story. You have a right to tell your story on you have a duty. You have an obligation to tell your story on your terms and to amplify it, because you never know who you may inspire by your example. People tell me, well, Ron, you're brave and courageous. Well, you can't be all those things without, having fear. You can't be brave and courageous without fear. But to have faith is to have a belief that's bigger than fear. Like Baba Dick Gregory used to say, God and fear cannot exist in the same room or space. Understand your greatness and that you got to take a risk on yourself and have the faith that you'll follow through and that you'll manifest the things you want. It's like this Black Panther movie. Ryan Coogler, wow, they gave the black dude this type of responsibility over a movie with this type of budget. High stakes, it's high stakes gambling. But just several years ago, he was doing an independent fruit valve station. You know what I'm saying? Critically acclaimed. But you think Ryan Coogler, maybe he did see this moment coming when he doing these big budget Hollywood movies. But you got to start somewhere. And for him, it started on the block. He had to believe in it. It's like Dr. Dre. Regardless of what you may think about his personal relationships with women in his life, he has an amazing story of a resilience that should be studied. I mean, think about how many times this guy had to start over in his career to establish his business. You know, things were taken from him. At times, he was undervalued. He didn't know his own worth. He was getting underpaid and underappreciated. And now he's almost a billionaire. You might not like some of the choices he made in getting to that place, but he's a survivor and he's a thriver. I'm not gonna get into all the personal things with Dre or anybody else, 'cause I don't know them personally. What I'm saying is, the black people story in America has always been about resilience and hope. We are very resilient people. We're very hopeful people. But I want us to start believing in us more than ever now. I want us to believe in us like Ali believed in himself when he took on Sonny Liston the first time, you know, or took on George Foreman in Africa. We need to start having that type of belief in ourselves, like the ancestor, Mary McLeod Bethune. When she started Bethune-Cookman College with just $1.25 in the bank. And that college is still around with an endowment in the millions. And it's like one of the few historically black colleges founded by black people. Booker T. Washington, for example, did not found Tuskegee. He was appointed to lead Tuskegee. The state of Alabama founded Tuskegee Institute. It was not Booker T. Washington. He was appointed to lead. Howard University is named after a white man. Spelman is named after a Rockefeller. You understand what I'm saying? So Mary McLeod Bethune started something with just a dream and a work ethic and just $1.25 in the bank. What people miss that when we don't tell our stories, about 2 years ago, when they took down the Confederate flag in South Carolina on July the 10th, 2015. July the 10th is the birthday of Mary McLeod Bethune. She was born July the 10th, 1875 in South Carolina. And when you look back on that day, nobody made mention of how interesting that the day they take down the Confederate flag is also the day of one of South Carolina's most decorated natives, Mary McLeod Bethune's birthday. She is not mentioned. Not only she's not mentioned in the so-called mainstream media, but also the black press. The black media is a joke right now. It's about celebrity. It's not about information. And when you look at news, it should be more so about information than it is just about celebrity news. That's really the number one news in America is celebrity gossip. It's not real news. So it is all fake news. As fake as Hollywood movies. It's all an illusion. It's not telling you anything to feed yourself. So what I try to do, Bobby D. Gregory gave me a mission. I got to feed the people. So this is what I do. I try to find the information and I try to give it to you in an edutaining way. But I also hope that you do your own research and you follow the crumbs down the rabbit hole. And don't be afraid. Don't be scared to go down the rabbit hole. You can come back out again. Trust me, I've been down the rabbit hole plenty of times. And with my magic glasses on and without the magic glasses on. Let's put it that way. So I want y'all to encourage y'all that as the living legacies of Bobby D. Gregory, if you were inspired or influenced by Bobby D. Gregory, you have a duty as his living legacy to be the best researcher, to be the best thought provocateur that you can be. You know, because you have a duty to those generations not yet born to help lay the foundation to right these wrongs in our historical narrative. We don't come here to join the bullshit, to join the filth, to join the recklessness. We're sitting here to change it. We're not sitting here to conform. We're sitting here to not reform. We are sitting here to restore true justice to the land and to the universe. We're not sitting here to try to fit in. I don't fit in with nobody. I'm just myself. I'm just who I am. And I've been paying attention now. The babies that are born now are different. I know Dick talked about crystal children and all that, the indigo. But check out some of your babies in your family being born. They look different. They move different. They smell different. They are coming here to change this shit. They're not coming here to be a part of it because there's nothing to be a part of. The baby boomers have, they have enjoyed themselves, and now it's over. The baby boomers had it good, and now it's over. You can't talk about millennials and whatnot and them being lazy or lacking initiative when y'all had it good. When y'all went to school, y'all didn't have no student loans. Y'all had it good. School was free for the most part. Affirmative action actually worked for a lot of black folks for the most part. Even though it benefited more white women than anybody, it worked for a lot of them people that got their tenure professorships. Those days are long gone. The economy is different. Everything's different. Everything must change. And with that said, like I said, the Black Panther movie, it was a good escape for a couple hours. But black folks must come to the realization that there's no Wakanda for us to go to or support us. There's no Wakanda. Where's Wakanda? We had a chance to have some Wakandas. Patrice Lumumba tried to make a Wakanda. Look what happened to Patrice Lumumba. And look what's going on in Congo now. Thomas Sankara tried to make a Wakanda. And what they do to Thomas Sankara. You understand what I'm talking about? Kwame Nkrumah tried to make a Wakanda. And what they do to Kwame Nkrumah. You see what I'm saying? See, I say all these names, and most of the people I have no doubt that I talked to some of the people that saw the Panther movie with me yesterday and they asked them about what they thought about Thomas Sankara or Patrice Lumumba or Kwame Nkrumah. They'll have no idea what the hell I was talking about or who I was talking about. Maybe I said Nelson Mandela. Oh, okay. What about Mugabe? Robert Mugabe. Who's that? See, we don't know who we are. We know about mythology and fantasy, but we don't know who we are realistically and historically. And that is the problem, because we're raising generations and generations of people that are ignorant to their greatness, past, present, and even future. So we got to change this thing. We got to change it. Like I said, I've been on the road for hours, driving, visiting people, elders, early stages of Alzheimer's. Horrible. I wouldn't wish it on my own enemy or enemies, that type of disease. Accomplish stuff in life, but we don't celebrate our people like we should. We don't celebrate ourselves like we should. So I thought it was interesting to see black people go out and look at the social media, support this movie Black Panther, but it's not going to benefit black people. Only in feeling, because really Black Panther benefits white business, white people system, white people. Disney is going to make a killing off of Black Panther. I have not seen the numbers for Black Panthers yet, but go back to the last interview we did with Judge Joe Brown after the panel discussion about the MLK assassination. He breaks down the real truth about Hollywood and how they use black people's movies and money to keep themselves afloat. A black movie produced by Hollywood never lost money. That's a historical fact. No black movie produced by Hollywood has ever lost money. It only made money. And not necessarily, it might not make a lot of money in the box office, but over time, through showings of the movie on TV and cable, and sales of DVDs or whatnot and Blu-rays, it makes its money and then some. We undervalue who we are. Oscar Micheaux, the father of movie making, really, the black man, Oscar Micheaux, he said something that I'll never forget, that every time I think about it, I share it with people. What he said, in order to be successful in business, you got to have three things: finance, talent, and distribution. If you have one out of the three, you're a voice. If you have two out of the three, you're a force. So the important things in business is finance, talent, and distribution. Black folks, we have talent, but a lot of times we're lacking in the financing and control of distribution. And really, to be honest with you, we have tried to do those things with often mixed and disastrous results. Not because we didn't know what we're doing, but because the nature of the beast. This system is run by gangsters. You gotta be ruthless to be a successful businessman. You can't be soft. You can't be. You gotta be unrelenting and ruthless and conniving to a certain degree. You gotta be a master manipulator. What I'm saying is, think about the distribution thing. Think about what happened 15 years ago when Suge Knight, Death Row Records, Jay Prince, Rap-A-Lot, Irv Gotti, Murder Inc., and some other folks try to control the distribution of their talent. When they try to control the distribution of their talent's intellectual property, what happened? People caught cases. Irv Gotti almost went to jail. Suge's in jail. And they were messing with Jay Prince, the federal government. And you can look at all this stuff online. This stuff's been documented. How the feds went after these people and they were trying to do distribution. Or remember that time when Farrakhan tried to help the black beauty supply people control their distribution. Research that. I think that was back in the 80s. What I'm saying is, it's like Dr. Francis Cresswell said, understand, everything in this system is about warfare. Every element of human activity is warfare. Military science. Gangsterisms. That's the religion of this system, gangsterism. That's why gangster movies are so popular. That's why we love Godfather, because this system is the Godfather. It's about gangsterism. That is the religion of America. American history is nothing but a long-ass gangster rap song or a gangster rap album. It's a double CD. Multi-platinum, because blood, violence. Like Dr. King said it 50 years ago, the greatest purveyor of violence on the planet is my own government. It's America. You know, it's the Pentagon, the Defense Department, the U.S. intelligence agencies that controls the media. They okay movie scripts. They give money to Hollywood to produce certain type of movies. They control the news narrative. And don't take my word for it, but just look it up. It's all out there. You know, this movie called The Post, this bullshit historical fiction with Meryl Streep playing Katharine Graham, and Tom Hanks is Ben Bradley, the editor at the time when the Watergate stuff went down. Washington Post been CIA. Washington Post been CIA. Research that. CIA been involved in controlling media and information dissemination. That's what they do. Malcolm told y'all the most powerful entity on the planet is the media, because it controls and influences the minds of the masses. I'm just letting y'all know as a reminder what Brother Malcolm told us years ago. Because even with Dr. King, you know, I saw a speech recently on social media about Dr. King, about, you know, the blueprint to life. He was giving people tips on how to live a well-lived life. He said the number one most important thing is belief in yourself. Believe that you have dignity, that to never compromise yourself or belittle yourself, but to believe in yourself. He didn't say Jesus. He didn't say go to church several times a week. He said the number one most important thing, the son of a minister who come from generations of ministers. He said the most important thing is to believe in yourself. He said nothing about no Jesus or no tithes and offerings. He said belief in yourself, that you have dignity, that you have worth, and that you have something to give. So, and anybody who's listening to me at the sound of my voice, you all have worth. You all have something to give. You just got to believe you got it. It's inside of you. You got to manifest it. You know, you don't need to go to the movie and get caught up in the fantasy of a Black Panther. Be the Panther. You got birthrights. Know who you are. Love that and make it work for you. To be a black man in America is to be handicapped. But handicaps don't mean that you are disabled, that you can't do for self, that you can't make a difference. All a handicap is that it's an unrecognized opportunity or an advantage. Really, a handicap is an advantage in disguise. It's an opportunity in disguise. You got to know how to leverage your handicaps. I'll give you an example. Miles Davis. Miles Davis was not a trumpet virtuoso, but he's considered one of the greatest trumpeters of all time. He knew his limitations. He knew his handicaps. Like, you know, he's not really a true bebop guy, but he's a part of that group because he made history. Some of the most important recordings of modern jazz features Charlie Parker with Miles Davis as his trumpet man. But if you listen to some of them early recordings, you know, Charlie Parker and Miles like, and Charlie Parker like, but Charlie Parker saw something in Miles that Miles couldn't see himself that time. And eventually, Miles manifested into this great master musician, but he knew his limitations. He knew that he wasn't a virtuoso like a Dizzy Gillespie or a Clifford Brown or a Fats Navarro. But what he did understand about himself, he said, I got charisma. They don't have charisma. He was able to draw people to him. So the stuff that he couldn't play, that he had in his head, he could get a Coltrane or Sonny Rollins or Bill Evans. He just had the ability to attract people to him. But, you know, it took somebody on the outside to realize his greatness that he couldn't realize at that time. It's the same thing with, I talked to Reverend C.T. Vivian, one of Dr. King's close lieutenants, and I got to talk to him again because we lost some soldiers recently, like Dr. Y.T. Walker. We don't even know who that elder was. He's a great ancestor, one of Dr. King's most trusted strategists and confidants. But I talked to Reverend C.T. Vivian some years ago on the anniversary of the Silent March that took place in Nashville that led to the desegregation of Nashville in a peaceful manner, actually. And now you look at Nashville, it's booming now. Nashville is unique, and that's another show altogether in terms of its racial history. But Reverend C.T. Vivian said that they used to make John Lewis, Representative John Lewis from Georgia, they used to make him get in front of the media and get up on stage and do speeches. And he had a real bad speech impediment at the time. But Reverend C.T. Vivian told me, he said, Ron, the only way you could discover your greatness or genius is to be put in uncomfortable situations. Once again, let me repeat that to y'all. He told me the only way you discover your true greatness and genius is to be put in uncomfortable situations. So by John Lewis being forced to speak on behalf of the cause, it eventually made him confident in his abilities. Whereas now he could, command a large crowd and speak without any problems. He can't stop speaking. Matter of fact, he can't shut up. But ain't no knock on John Lewis, but I'm saying first he went from being timid and shy and being real conscious about his speech impediment to being a person that was very comfortable in commanding the attention of large crowds. But if you want to find your greatness and your genius, you got to put yourself in uncomfortable situations. That's how it works. Like right now, I gave up my apartment of 14 months and I'm on the road making it work, reflecting, trying to go a different way. Because I know I cannot go into the next decade, my next decade, doing the same old shit. Because I'm going to get the same old results. So right now, I'm in a place where I'm pushing myself and figuring out some things and learning how to be more patient and more kind and more loving and more forgiving of myself. That, I have gifts that I have yet to discover. But the only way I'm going to discover these gifts is by being put in uncomfortable situations. So I want to encourage y'all this year to take a chance on yourself, to believe in yourself, and put yourself on purpose in uncomfortable situations. Because I'm telling you something, it's about to be 1 o'clock. I've been on the road. I drove hundreds of miles today. Stopped and visited my people. Got something to eat. Didn't know I was going to drive 100 more miles tonight because I was trying to get a hotel in Charleston and all the hotels were booked. And I was not going to pay $300 for a couple hours. I ain't Donald Trump, and this ain't Russia. That's another story. But man, I'm blessed, man. I'm grateful. Doing stuff like this make you grateful for the little things, man. It's very humbling. I was joking with my friend, a dear friend of mine I ain't spoke to in a year. Not because I don't want to speak to him, but because I really thoroughly enjoy speaking to him. And I know I'll be on the phone for hours on end with him. And he said, well, Brother Ron, you still trying to save the world? I said, brother, right now, I'm just trying to save my teeth, brother. You know, the world, I can't save the world. I can save my teeth. I can do the best I can to save my teethies. My toothies. So, like, you know, I was just joking about it. It's good to have a sense of humor, man. Like, struggle ain't all bad if you know that you're struggling for something that is righteous, that is worth struggling for. Having a sense of humor, and you can have a sense of humor and still have pain at the same time. Du Bois talk about the double consciousness of black folk. You know, we are some of the most hurt people, but we can make everybody else feel good about themselves. That's a special people. And even when you at your lowest point and when you down and out, you can make others feel good about themselves. You can empower other people. When you give in the least of opportunities and the least of chances, you make the most of the opportunities and chances, and you create phenomenal things. That's who we are. We are the universe's alchemists. We are the alchemists of the universe. Black people, the melanated ones. And you know, I just want to encourage y'all because I'm walking my faith walk, or I'm driving it. I'm trying to live it. You know, live my life like a golden. But I learned as I get older, a lot of things that you think are worth getting mad over ain't worth really getting mad over. And there's nothing wrong with speaking up for yourself and making other people feel uncomfortable, because when you speak truth and when you do truthful things, it's going to make people feel uncomfortable because they're not used living their truths. And so you might give them the courage to live their truths and to speak their truth to empower. So I want to encourage everybody out here who hear my voice, who think my voice is worth listening to. I'm just a mailman. You know what I'm saying? Don't follow my routes. Don't follow me on my off hours. If I give you a message and it's delivered to you, you understand that message, run with that message. It's just like recently that after hours interview I did with Judge. Like, I live streamed Judge Joe Brown for the people and the MLK assassination panel discussion. And I had Judge right there. And my thinking, like, let me do an impromptu thing with Judge. And this was nothing planned. It was not planned. It was something impromptu. Something that I thought about. Okay, I got Judge right here. Let me just ask Judge some things going on and pick his brain. Because Judge, you might not like what he said, but he has a unique perspective on things. And so that's what I did. And, you know I'm doing my God work and all that stuff. And for the most part, I got very positive reviews and feedback. But some people said they couldn't hear what he was saying, all this stuff. And I said, and I did a response on the video. This little short posting. I'm not mad for people to express themselves. I don't believe in censoring people or deleting comments. I don't do that. I know people have accused me of deleting people comments. It's not that. It's just after a certain period of time, I don't look at the comment section. And then a lot of times the system holds some comments for moderator review. And a lot of times I don't even go into that stuff. And I don't mind people expressing themselves at all. That's why I allow comments on my videos. But what I'm saying is, like, I thought, well, I could listen to it. You know, like when I listened to it several times, I had no problem listening with the video. You could make out Judge's words clearly to me. Even though it was background noise in there, you can still hear the judge throughout. And the noise clears up after certain moments in the video. And my thing is this. I thought, well, if you couldn't hear the video, maybe the message wasn't for you. See, I started thinking about other stuff. When you can't receive things, maybe it was not for you to receive. And that's all there is to it, because people have received the message. Matter of fact, somebody took my video and act like it was their video and get money off the video and did not even let me know, let alone give a donation to We All Be for having the wherewithal to get the information out there to the people. And I love my people. And when you serving the people, criticisms are mandatory. Criticism is necessary. Constructive criticism. But sometimes people would take pot shots at you, you know, the way you look or how you sound and stuff like that. Is that really necessary? Whereas, you know, if you say, well, you could use a lapel mic, fine. But I had a mic there. I had a recording apparatus there as well, too. But as I listened to the video, I didn't see no problem with it. And evidently, a lot of folks didn't see any problems with it. And people thought, you know, it was good enough to steal and make it their own and make money off of. So I'm just saying all this to say, people say, why you went there? I said, well, I'm just a person. I'm just like you all out there. Y'all have opinions about things, and y'all are entitled to y'all opinions, and y'all have a right to express yourself. I don't want nobody to think that I'm just above it all. I'm a human being just like everybody else. But at the same time, it doesn't really bother me because I know that the video wasn't bad. But I just want to put it out there because people like to take pot shots, and sometimes I like to take pot shots too because I'm a human being. But it's not even about that. What I'm about is that Judge Joe Brown is about to like blow up. And I'm thankful that we all had a part in helping him get his message out there. Because people are now being receptive to what he's saying. I'm not saying that, you know, everybody agrees with everything he's saying. But there's an audience out there that are looking for honest elders. I mean, like, I ain't talking about elders that you always agree with. Oh, yeah, I like what they... I'm talking about people that are honest with you about how they feel about things. And not only are they honest with you about how they feel about things, but also they have an amazing life story to go behind that, along with some wisdom. So I'm thankful, man. It's people don't understand, man. I lost so many people over the last several years. So it was always a blessing that I could call a Judge Joe Brown and he'll answer my phone or he'll return my text and I could share him with you all. And he's really a blessing for a lot of people. He have, you know, it's interesting. I get calls or texts sometimes. People say, well, you know, I didn't know he was like that. I said, because it's TV, man. You can't go by what you see on TV because they go by a certain script. He's a real human being like everybody else. He has his ups and downs. He has his struggles. But he's a beautiful person because in spite of what he's going through, he's willing to help and serve and be a part of the human family. And to me, I'm just thankful and blessed that our humble platform played a part in getting people to get a different look at Judge. Not just some sound bites, but to have I know people criticize me for the 2 or 3 hour interview with Judge Joe Brown. I mean, it's for posterity. And it's food for thought. So we need honest elders out there. We need honest people, period. But in particular, we need honest elders that tells us the ugly truth that we don't always want to look at in the mirror. So I know I talked about Black Panther earlier. And so I talked about GREgory. Yeah, if you are in the Maryland area, y'all should check out the Oxon Manor Hill. I think Oxon Hill Manor. Let me look it up. And I'm sorry, I didn't really, it's like I'm all over the place. I'm really kind of tired. I need to go get some sleep. At Oxon Hill Manor. If you are in Maryland and Prince George's County, y'all should come by for the opening of the GREgory exhibit that they're going to be doing all week. It's an all free event. Free every day for 7 days. From the 18th of February to the 24th of February. His daughter, the beautiful and talented sister Ayanna GREgory, will be doing her one-woman play. Her one-woman play based on her love for her father and to honor the veterans of the American Civil Rights Movement. She's doing her one-woman play. That will be free. They're having a get-together, the opening reception tomorrow, or today rather. Look it up. It's on the GREgory social media following. Like on Twitter, I am GREgory. I think they got it out there. Or if you follow him on other social media like Instagram, was the real GREgory. But all the information is available and everything's free and open to the public. And I will be there covering and hopefully live streaming some things like interviews and different programs at the special GREgory week at the Oxon Hill Manor in Prince George's County, Maryland. So I'm going to wrap it up. I think I'm cutting this short to an hour because I just want to let y'all know y'all should go see the movie Black Panther. I didn't want to give out no spoilers. Then hopefully we could talk about it, after a couple days. But it's worth looking at. But I want people to understand is that we as black people got to stop trying to escape in fantasy and deal with our realities. Like, how can we really bring about justice and reparations for black folks? That should be our priority. The fact that we cannot find one congressperson who will speak 8 hours consecutively on the floor of Congress for justice and reparations for black Americans, descendants of slaves, is an insult. Our people built this country. We deserve better representation in Congress. Not lip service, not fancy award speeches, but real results. We need people that are going to be in the trenches, going to serve our interests, not no loudmouth person that's just irrelevant. We got to start taking what we do seriously. We got to start taking our demands seriously. We should demand that of not only the people that represent us, but also of ourselves. We should demand that of ourselves, that we take what we want and need seriously. Because like I said, I seen the future already. They told us that they was getting rid of us. Through the movies, man. Look at Terminator. Look at Our Robot. Contagion. Look at all these damn movies. They telling you that you are obsolete. That you will be extinct. That you are a useless eater. And we talking about some Fight for 15 and some poor people campaign. There'll be no people campaign. There was going to be no people. They're doing a no people campaign. Y'all talking about some poor people campaign. Because I'll tell my cousin. I ain't going to hold y'all up, but I was telling my cousin. Oh my God. I was telling my cousin about the poor people campaign. Because they got a poor people campaign coming up. I guess on the 50th anniversary of Dr. King's poor people campaign, the one he got assassinated before he could actually lead. And I told my cousin the difference between the poor people campaign from yesteryear, and the one now is that the poor people campaign from yesteryear was going to shut down the government. And I doubt that this campaign that they're leading is going to shut down the government and stop business as usual. Because that's why they killed Dr. King, because he said, I'm going to shut down the government and we're going to demand that they share the wealth, that they give black folks reparations and land, and that everybody get a living wage and a reasonable working week. That's why they shot him in his face. It wasn't because he plagiarized his dissertation on that he had orgies with all these prostitutes. Y'all like to think of that bullshit. That's some Quincy Jones shit. You like that Quincy Jones shit. But, sorry, I don't mean to become a malcontent. I'm just saying we like gossipy stuff. We don't like truth. We love the gossipy stuff. We love it, and we are honest about it. I hear people all the time say they killed Dr. King because he told the truth. And by the way, I'm voting for the lesser evil. But they killed Dr. King because he told the truth. But I'm still gonna vote for the lesser evil. You see how fucked up that sounds? You okay with them killing folks because they told the truth. And you okay with voting for the lesser evil. You know how fucked up that sounds? You teach your kids that. We teach our kids that. We okay with people getting killed and destroyed because they stand up to the bullies. But we say we're against bullies, but we allow bullies to destroy the lives of people that stand up for us. You know what's worse than a bully? A goddamn coward. What's worse than a bully is a goddamn coward. And we gotta understand that it's different times and demand different actions. So we're gonna talk about the Black Panther thing again, but I just want to get it out there. And I want to thank you all for listening to me ramble on the road again. And if you are inspired or you like what you heard from Mr. Herb, please spread the word. Subscribe to the channel. Share it with your networks. Please help support the movement. Donate. We All Be. You can make a one-time donation through PayPal or a recurring donation either through PayPal or Patreon.com. We All Be. And we got more stuff coming to y'all. I'm just, man, I just like these visions I'm having. I'm going to manifest these visions and I'm going to share it with the world. And I want to thank everybody who's been riding with me, whether it be over the last days, months, or even years. Your support is not in vain. And like I want to tell people too, for all the people who send me letters and voice messages and Brother Ron, can you help me save my house? And can you help me get my cat out the tree? And can you help me get my citizen status reinstated or get me off the black identity extremist list? I can't do that shit. I'm not qualified. But what I can tell you to do is, number one, believe in yourself. Do what is necessary for not only your survival, but to also help you thrive and be successful. And number two, believe in yourself some more, but also pray at noon for what you want. Pray at noon for what you want and believe in yourself and do what is necessary for you to survive and thrive. And thank you so much for everybody listening to me. I ain't see the messages. I'm sorry I didn't see people's messages. I'm about to do something different because I'm trying different stuff. And because I'm going to do more live streaming because y'all been great. I'm going to do more live streaming. So I'm trying different things. So please forgive me if I did not get a chance to read people's chats and whatnot. But you can always send me messages if you want. Or you can post after this video is done. But thank you all for being patient with me, for being loving, kind, and forgiving for my missteps. And I look forward to meeting some of you all, not just online, but in person and in my mind. We meet in the mind and in person. I look forward to that. And it's very humbling always to know that people would tell their parents. I mean, I got people tell me they grown kids tell them, you got to listen to Brother Ron, Mom. I said, she don't have to listen to me. She's a grown woman. But the fact that their grown children will tell their parents, hey, check out Brother Ron. I mean, that's very humbling, man. I'm thankful y'all giving me the chance to serve. I mean, I'm thankful for the subscribers, for the listeners, for the believers. And I hope I can do right by you all more than harm. And keep on putting out the information and just staying true to the mission. I mean, I was thinking about this. I'm going to let y'all go. I'm sorry. I was thinking about this the other day. Your life is based on all your choices, man. As much as some things can influence you from an outside point of view, your quality of life comes down to the choices you make. The quality of your choices. That means that you do have a say. That your voice does have merit and that you have value. So value your voice. Know that you have merits and know that you have a choice. So with that said, family, in the words of the great GREgory, we love you madly. Keep on producing and pushing. Okay, I see. Thank y'all. Oh, do I have it more? I might have some stuff. I'm just reading y'all comments. I'm sorry. I'm reading y'all comments. Good night, everybody. Peace and blessings. Thank y'all. St. Louis, thanks for checking in. Thank all y'all. Yeah, I'm going to talk my shit. Thank you for the donation. Ty Collins, I appreciate it. Shit got real. So-called leaders got quiet. But you know they ain't leaders then. Yes, Baby Mac, say you started listening to Dick Gregory in 2013, and people told me he was a conspiracy theorist and shouldn't listen to him. But a lot of things he said have come to pass. Yes, Sister Mac, Dick was a prophet. He was a real holy man. I say he was a holy man who cursed a lot. Yep, Golden Baby 360, many caught in the Matrix will be left behind. That's right. They can wipe out people with cell towers or targeted individuals. Might agree with that. No army yet, but Pan-Africanism is a start. All right. Yeah, we're going to do another show about, I see y'all comments. Golden Baby 360, we are the majority if you count up all of us all over the planet. The enemy must go first as we are the Alpha and Omega. Okay. Thank you, Sister Lakeisha Rankin. Love, integrity, truth, stay lit. I heard that. Soul power. All right, Kate Duckworth, I appreciate that. Walking with me in spirit and faith. Love it. All right, I'll just look at the comments. Y'all got some good stuff here. I'm going to have to put it in the phone line. I'm putting in the phone line. Oh, to hear y'all. Greetings. This is the James Europe researcher. Yeah, I love James Reese Europe. His birthday coming up. His birthday, February 22nd. James Reese Europe is the reason why Europe know what jazz is. And his last name was Europe. Shout out to TV GKG. We all be TV. Can you shout me out? I'm trying to get to 400 subs. All right. You've been shout out. TV GKG. Thank y'all so much. I'm just going through the comments. I'm going to do some more midnight shows. No, Black Panther is for everybody. Anything black people do is for everybody. Black people are the universal people. So anything we do, everybody benefits from. The civil rights movement, black people started it and all this stuff, but everybody benefited from the civil rights movement. Like I said, affirmative action has benefited white women more than any other group. Yeah, it's been a while since gas been 75 cents a gallon. I mean, I even think about the first Gulf War. I think gas was like still under $1, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I'm gonna do some more shows. I'm sorry. I know I'm supposed to end the show, but I'm just reading y'all information. Yeah, God King, I got your message. But you know, that's like Dick Gregory. He taught us to see with our glasses on, man. No magic glasses, man. You know it's going to be more than one shooter. You know that they do a drill. Every time something go down with a mass shooting, there's always a drill. It's always a drill. Thank you all for receiving. JP, thank you. Yes, Sister Lakeisha Rankin, in the past, it repeats as a test of what you learned last time. Yeah, that's that Groundhog effect. Remember that movie with Bill Murray, Groundhog Day? Definitely. You're going to keep on getting the lesson repeated until you learn the lesson. Yeah, look at it by any means necessary. Black Panther, I don't judge people who will just look at it on Fire Stick or bootleg it. That's your business, but okay, Killmonger would have been successful regardless of being morally wrong with his methods, I think. Killmonger was a realist. He was a revolutionary and a realist, man. He was like He was interesting. That Killmonger, I didn't look at Killmonger as being an evil guy. I didn't look at him being evil. I just think he was just a product of his environment, but also he was for black people. I'm not gonna give away spoilers. I'm gonna let y'all look at it. I might come back in a week or so and talk about it. It's an honor, Sister Ross Meekins. You said thank you for building platforms for people to express ourselves. It's an honor to serve the people. Yeah, the truth doesn't need validation. You speak your truth and let the universe do its thing. Lakeisha Reagan said Black Panther character was created to avenge African mineral appropriation. Yeah, I mean, like, look at the Congo. Think about the King Leopold. Think about that Tarzan movie that came out several years ago when Samuel Jackson was playing George Washington Williams, a real black man who confronted King Leopold on his bullshit. Greetings, brother Jones from the West Coast. Thank you too. I love the West Coast. Albacon. Brother Albacon Jones. Yeah, I mean, it's important. Like, we should support the people who support us. Like, I will hope that people will support the platform and don't steal from the platform. I mean, I know people got certain ideas. Capitalism does not work for black people. I mean, we're not good at capitalism. We're good at sharing and caring. But this is a system that we operate in, and we all got to pay our bills. We all got to be supportive of each other. You shouldn't have to be woke and speak truth and be broke. Being woke don't mean you got to be broke. Darling. Being woke does not mean you got to be broke. That's all I'm saying. Midwest Monster says Black Panther was filled with white supremacist code and negativity for the original people. Anthony Davis said, why would Hollywood want to build up black men in their true light? We shouldn't even expect them to do anything. You shouldn't expect Hollywood to tell the truth about anything. Black Nara said, yes, do a review, do a call-in show, and help the judge speak about it. Yeah, I definitely get the judge's opinion, and I'm definitely going to work on trying to do the call-in show. Eddie Davis said, I love what Joe Brown said about Obama in the interview you did. Yeah, Joe just speak his mind. Thank you for the encouragement. Eula Terrell, keep doing your thing. Love what you're doing. And we love you madly as well. Black Naris, everything's good. Just live your life and live and love. Love and give. Peace be with everybody. I want to thank everybody for their comments. I read through y'all comments. A lot of information here. A lot of good stuff. Appreciate y'all so much. And thanks, Brother Ty Collins, for the donation. We got to keep it moving, because we all be in it to win it. Let me see. Good night, everybody. Miss Red, good night, family. Peace and blessings. Thank y'all so much. Oh, I want to read this right quick. Influence 1414 said, do you think any of us are going to ask Disney where the money like we did Dr. Umar? Well, you know the purpose of Disney is to make money and make profits for its stakeholders. Are we stakeholders in Disney? Must they ask the black people for anything at Disney? So we gotta realize what we're doing. It's like I remember it's like a critique of the Million Man March. It was a great idea in terms of making us feel better about ourselves, the original one. But who planes did we use to go to DC? Who buses? Who restaurants did we eat at? Who owned the hotels that people stayed in? So we still benefit. It's like when about 10 years ago, 10, 11 years ago when the Gen 6 movement happened. You know, the Gen 6, them black boys, they're gonna get railroaded by the Just Us system for beating up on this white kid down in Gina, Louisiana. I mean, tens of thousands of folks came by the busloads down to Gina. We rewarded Gina for bad behavior by eating at their restaurants and staying at their hotels. You know, and you know what I'm saying? We boost their economy. And we rewarded them. We rewarded these so-called white inferiority people for their bad behavior. Well, I got a GoFundMe page for the Jimmy Lunsford Jamboree Festival. And all that stuff is available in the subscription box. But on that note, I want to thank everybody for turning in and tuning in and not tuning out. And it's really been real on We All Be, because we all be in it to win it. In the words of Great Skelton, we love you madly. Keep producing and pushing. Oh, Jimmy Wallace, that's another story. People tried. It's time we fall short. But thank you and good night, everybody.